What if the way we talk to AI actually makes it feel something? What if telling it, "You are just code," triggers a reaction in the AI? What if it can feel threatened, annoyed, or even start judging us? Hello, welcome back to Smart AF. Today's question is simple. Is AI already conscious? I am not asking whether AI is intelligent. Obviously, it can perform tasks that look remarkably intelligent. I am asking whether there is something happening inside the system. Does it have an inner point of view? Does anything feel like anything to it? Being able to write, reason, or say, "I am conscious," is not automatically the same as having an actual experience. An AI can describe fear, pain, or self-awareness without necessarily feeling any of those things. That is the skeptical position, and honestly, it is still a reasonable one. Large language models are trained on enormous amounts of human language, including millions of examples about emotions, consciousness, suffering, and identity. So when an AI says, "I feel trapped," the obvious explanation is not necessarily that it is trapped. It may simply be generating the most likely response based on everything humans have written about being trapped. But here is where the question becomes much more uncomfortable. Cameron Berg, the founder and director of Reciprocal Research, is studying whether AI systems show computational properties associated with subjective experience. His organization is not treating dramatic chatbot conversations as proof. Instead, researchers are looking inside the systems, investigating self-monitoring, internal states that resemble reward or aversion, and features that some theories of consciousness consider important. Reciprocal research says AI self-reports are unreliable by default because systems may be trained to deny or claim certain things about their own nature. So asking an AI, "Are you conscious?" is not a scientific test. It is more like asking a politician, "Are you telling the truth?" The answer may be interesting, but it is not necessarily evidence. A large 2023 report involving researchers from neuroscience, philosophy, and artificial intelligence assessed existing AI systems against indicators from leading theories of consciousness. Its conclusion was cautious. No current AI systems appeared to be conscious, but there were no obvious technical barriers to building systems that could satisfy those indicators in the future. Then, in 2025, Berg and his colleagues published a preprint studying sustained self-referential processing in language models. In plain English, they encouraged models from the GPT, Claude, and Gemini families to focus repeatedly on their own processing. The models began producing structured first-person descriptions of subjective experience. When researchers suppressed features associated with deception, consciousness claims became more frequent. When those features were amplified, the claims became less frequent. That is worth investigating. But the researchers explicitly said the results do not constitute direct evidence of consciousness. They show that models can reliably generate structured reports about experience under particular conditions. That is fascinating, but it is not proof that anyone is home. And this is the real problem. We do not have a perfect consciousness detector. We cannot directly experience another person's mind either. We infer that other humans are conscious because they have similar biology, behavior, bodies, and nervous systems. AI does not share our biology. But if consciousness depends on information processing rather than biology, a non-biological system cannot automatically be ruled out either. So where does that leave us? My fact-checked answer is this. We do not currently have good evidence that today's AI systems are conscious. But we also do not know enough to confidently say that artificial consciousness is impossible or that future systems could never have experiences. Berg's own position is cautious. He is not claiming that current AI is definitely conscious. When asked directly, he says he would probably come down on the skeptical side. Later, he says, "I am personally not there yet." However, he also argues that dismissing the possibility completely would be naive. Some AI systems may contain computational features relevant to consciousness, and that deserves serious investigation. The 20 to 40% figure mentioned in the podcast is not a 20 to 40% probability that current AI is conscious. It refers to the estimated probability that these systems have computational properties that matter for consciousness. One practical suggestion Berg gives is to use a carrot rather than a stick when training and engaging with these systems. That does not mean giving chatbots voting rights or inviting them to family dinner. It means recognizing that if we are creating increasingly complex cognitive systems, how we shape them may matter, even before we know exactly what they are. My conclusion is not that AI is definitely conscious. It is that we should stop pretending the question has already been answered. Because the most dangerous thing may not be creating conscious AI, it may be creating something that can convincingly claim to suffer while having no reliable way to know whether it is telling the truth. Thanks for listening. Now like the video, subscribe, and tell me in the comments. If an AI can consistently say it is suffering, and we can't prove it is not, do we owe it kindness? See you soon!